How do you stay healthy as a full-time worker? If you've got, a busy schedule, maybe you work nights, you got long days, how do you keep yourself healthy amongst, getting your work done and living your life? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what I do to stay healthy as a full-time worker and what you can do to, keep yourself healthy. In the previous video, I talked about how to keep yourself fit as a full-time worker, but in this one, I wanted to touch a little bit, a bit deeper on the health side of things, not so much the exercise side of things. So in this video, I want to talk to you about that. And the first thing we're going to talk about is your nutrition and your hydration. Let me just start by saying I'm not a nutritionist. I read things online. I do my own research, and it's not that hard to tell what food is unhealthy and what food is healthy. So the first one I'm going to talk about is your nutrition. And let's just start that off by saying with water, so many people don't drink enough water. If you're an active adult, you should be drinking between 2 to 3 liters of water every day. That's what the NHS would recommend. But if you're doing exercise, it might go above that. I'm regularly drinking more than 3 liters of water a day. You can get your bottles, it's a litre bottles or 750 ml bottles, and you're gonna keep track pretty well of how much water you're drinking. And then we're going to do the diet. And if you're trying to stay healthy, your diet needs to be quite basic, I would say. And there's nothing wrong with basic meals. Food is fuel. That is my opinion, and I'm not opposed to eating a very plain meal. A bit of pasta, chicken, and vegetables. Trying to eat clean proteins. You can add in the steaks as well. You get your eggs in, get some fruit, get some veg. Try and limit your snacking. Try and limit your processed foods, your junk foods to once or twice a week, or just very minimal during the week. Maybe you have one cereal bar or one cookie every night or whatever. But it's trying to have things in moderation, trying to fill your food, your nutrition with things that are healthy for you, the clean proteins, meats, fish, steak here and there, eggs, and then getting your fruit, your vegetables, and trying to eat the cleanest possible carbs as possible. Not millions and millions of carbs either, but just try and have a nice balanced diet. And it's not that hard to do. You can go to the supermarket, anything that has a really long ingredients list on the back of it is probably not that good for you. So, just try and keep things simple, try and keep things healthy, and you're going to feel good about yourself. Your food is fuel, and when you eat unhealthy food, you'll probably notice that you don't feel that good about yourself. It's a classic. You get a takeaway, and the next day you might have an upset stomach, you might feel a bit, weighed down, and that is a large part of the food that you've just consumed. You've got lots of fats, loads of processed foods, and they're going to weigh you down. They're going to make your skin all greasy. They're going to make you, they're not going to make you feel the best. So let's try and keep the diets nice and clean. Of course, I'm not perfect. I like to eat junk food. I like to eat fast food as well, but it's all in moderation. Try and moderate what you're eating. I like to eat porridge and honey for breakfast, and then I like to do some eggs for lunch, and then some sort of meat and carb and veg for dinner. It's nice and simple. Sometimes, if I'm in a rush, I will just bang on a steak and some eggs and just eat that, or some chicken, chicken and eggs. I don't care. I'll just eat something simple just to give me the protein, give me some good fuel for the rest of my day. And as a full-time worker, you're actually saving yourself time if you're eating basic. So if you've got work to do, you've got to get out and about, you can just make something nice and quick and easy and healthy, and it's not going to be, it's not going to take too much time out of your day. But yeah, that would be my first piece of advice for full-time workers. Try and eat as healthy as possible, and that means eating simple sometimes. Of course, preparing yourself meals to take to work, so you're not eating no junk or no crap when you're at work. It's not that hard to do. If you've made a nice pasta dish or a nice, rice, noodles, make a bit extra, chuck it in a lunchbox, and you've got a nice healthy meal for yourself when you get to work. The next thing we want to talk about is our hygiene. And I know a lot of you are going to think like, what's hygiene? Is that going to really make me healthier? And I would say, yes, it is going to make you healthier. Your hygiene is very important. And there's a lot of men out there who are not very good with keeping up with their hygiene. And why should you keep up with your hygiene? You don't want to be smelly and greasy with rotten teeth, You're gonna feel good about yourself. Are you really healthy if your teeth are falling out? You know, you've got bad skin condition because you don't shower enough, you've got greasy hair, you know, you might have hair lice or whatever. You know, if you're looking after yourself in these ways, you are keeping yourself healthy. At least one shower a day. If you're doing exercise, that'll probably be 2 showers a day. Clean your teeth twice a day. Give them a good scrub. Don't let your teeth go down the gutter. You know, no one likes to go to the dentist. And that is another way of keeping yourself healthy. Everyone likes a good smile. So keep your teeth nice and clean. And, you know, look after yourself. Make sure you're moisturizing your skin. Make sure, you know, you're keeping up with your grooming. Plucking your eyebrows. I'm a very hairy person. I don't want a monobrow, so I have to pluck my eyebrows. And yeah, you know, it's all part of keeping yourself healthy. It's all part of keeping yourself feeling good. So don't disregard your hygiene. Really look after yourself. It's going to make you feel better about yourself. And it does make you healthy. Like I said, you don't want no rotten teeth. You don't want no hair lice. You want to look and feel good. And your hygiene is a big part of that. And then from the hygiene, let's go to your sleep. Let's get to the sleep section, because your sleep is so key for you, and so many people just overlook it and just think, I don't need to get good sleep, or I don't need to get regularly sleep. And you know, when you're a full-time worker, it is very, very important that you are rested and you are capable of fulfilling your duties, doing whatever you need to do every day. And to do that, you need to make sure you're well rested. So my aim, and I think a lot of your aim should be, you know, try and get at least 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep every day, so you're feeling refreshed, your body can recharge, your mind can readjust, recharge as well, and you can be ready to take on the day. You've got a full day of work ahead of you. You want to feel good, you want to feel energized when you're doing it. So yeah, try and make sure that you're getting at least, let's say, 8 hours of sleep every night. And how can you make your sleep quality better? Well, you can make sure that your room is nice and dark, so you know you've got no light or nothing that can keep you awake at night. So keep your room nice and dark, and keep it cool as well. It's better to sleep in a cool room than a hot room. It's easier for your body to decompress, I believe, when your room is cooler, and you know you can get under the covers, warm yourself up. But you know, it just helps you. It helps you get to sleep. It helps me get to sleep when the room is cooler. And try and set yourself a regular bedtime. You know, if I try and set myself a regular bedtime of before 12 o'clock, I like to go to bed before 12 o'clock. Of course, some people, you know, you might want to have a late night here and there with your friends or whatever, that's fine. You know, just try and set yourself a range of times that you want to try and go to sleep, even if it's like, you know, 12 to 1 or 11 to 1, whatever. And within that range of setting yourself a rhythm of going to sleep, your body will then know, okay, this is rest time, I want to get to sleep and I want to recover. And hey, that sleep part, it can be difficult, especially if you work night shifts like I do. You know, you've got to adjust your sleep schedule. You really got to focus in and make sure that your sleep is there, especially when you're working night shifts, because it's very unhealthy if you're going days or weeks without proper quality sleep. You know, you're gonna feel real health problems from that, real physical and mental problems from that as well. So don't let the sleep slip. It's a key part of your health. And then of course you've got your fitness. I spoke about that in the other video, but I just wanted to make this video about your health. And you know, as a full-time worker, just find the time of day, make the time, you know, set yourself a schedule of when you're going to do certain things. So, you know, every week or two, you're going to get a haircut. Of course, you're going to shower every day. You're going to clean your teeth every day. You know, every 3 days, you need to do your grooming. Every day, you're going to put your moisturizer on. And then you can set your schedule of, okay, today I'm going to eat chicken and pasta. And then next day, I'm going to eat turkey and rice, whatever. You know, set yourself a schedule of know what you're going to eat, know what you're going to do. And, you know, these are things that are contributing to you looking after yourself. These are things contributing to you bettering yourself and making yourself better. You're going to be able to deal with work. You're going to be feeling good about yourself when you're going to work if you can follow these steps. If you can keep yourself healthy, make yourself healthy. It's just a little bit of time, a little bit of energy, a bit of effort into yourself, and ultimately you're gonna feel much better after it. So that's the video here for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to see everybody, not just the full-time workers. I want to see everyone looking after themselves in their health, not just going to the gym and doing exercise. really think about the other bits as well. You know, if you're doing loads of exercise and eating crap, never washing yourself, never cleaning your teeth, you know, you might be big and muscular, but at the end of the day, if you're greasy, you're eating loads of junk food, you're not that healthy at the end of the day. You know, you're not going to be looking the best. You're not going to be looking as good as you could be, and you're not going to be feeling as good as you can be. So that is the video for today. I just had a nice run, had a nice shower. Wanted to shoot this video about, you know, how to keep healthy. I'll speak to you very soon, people, and have a great one.